Hello, my friends. Let's review the simple past together. First, when do we use the simple past? We use it for single events in the past. And these events are finished. They are completed. So if an event is continuing into the present or future, we cannot use the simple past. It is only for actions in the past that are finished. So a common question is, what did you do this weekend? The weekend is finished, so we use the simple past. I visited my friends. I went to a restaurant. These are examples of the simple past. Let's look at the structure of the simple past. In a yes sentence, we start with a person, place, or thing. Then we have the action or the verb in the past form. And then we have the rest of the sentence. Let's look at an example. I is the person, and then the action in the past form is walked. Walked. And then the rest of my sentence is to school. I walked to school. You see the ed ending on walk. You add ed for regular verbs. There are many regular verbs in English, like walked and cleaned and liked. But there are also many irregular verbs. This is an example of a yes sentence. Now we are going to practice saying no, but this is more complicated. For most verbs in English, this is the structure. We start again with a person, place, or thing. But now we need a helping verb. Remember, in the present tense, our helping verb is do. So in the past tense, we use the past form of do, and the past form of do is did. Then after did, we always have not in these sentences. Then we have the main verb, the action of our sentence. But now we do not use the past form. Did is in the past form, so we don't need to have two actions in the past form. So now we just use the simple form. Go, see, have. So be careful, do not use went or saw, but say go or see for the main verb in a no sentence. Then we have the rest of our sentence. So let's look at an example. I did not know. I did not know how to drive until I was 19 years old. I did not no. It's also important to practice the common contraction. The common contraction of did and not is didn't. Didn't. So, for example, I didn't know. I didn't know. Of course, my friends, there is an exception. The verb to be is always an exception. We never use do with the verb to be. For example, we start with a person, place, or thing. Then we have the verb to be. And in the past, we use was or were for the verb to be. I was, but you were. Then we have not, and then the rest of our sentence. So, for example, they were not happy. They were not happy. And remember, this is the past. They were not happy yesterday. There are also common contractions with the verb to be in the past. Was plus not is wasn't. Wasn't. And were plus not is weren't. One syllable. Weren't. Weren't. Next, my friends, let's look at some reminders for the simple past. Regular verbs have ed on the end. Words like walked or worked or wanted are all examples of a regular verb with ed on the end. But of course, English, there are also many irregular verbs. That means they are not regular. Try to practice a few verbs every week, my friends. Do not try to memorize long lists, but instead practice 2 or 3 or 4 words and use them. If you want to improve, you must use them every day. Here are some common verbs you can practice. Was and were are the past of be. Had is the past of have. Went is the past of go. Said is the past of say. Did is the past of do. Made is the past of make. Took is the past of take. Got is the past of get. Thought is the past of think. Saw is the past of see. Came is the past of come. Wanted. Wanted is the past of want. So you can see, my friends, there is only one regular verb here, wanted. All the other verbs here are irregular. So again, choose 2 or 3 words. And this week, practice, practice, practice. Another reminder is that all sentence subjects, I, you, he, she, it, we, and they all have the same past tense form, except the verb to be. Remember, the verb to be is was and were, but all the other verbs use the same past tense. Let's look at an example. I washed my car, and my husband washed the truck. I washed and he washed. But she was hungry, but you were not hungry. She was, but you were. With the verb to be, I, he, she, and it use was. And you, we, and they use were. Now, my friends, let's look at some examples of the simple past. We went to Chicago a few weeks ago. We visited my parents and our friends. It was so nice to see everyone, even if it was only for a few days. We enjoyed great restaurants and breweries. We went to a farm and picked apples. Now I will read it a little bit faster. We went to Chicago a few weeks ago. We visited my parents and our friends. It was so nice to see everyone, even if it was only for a few days. We enjoyed great restaurants and breweries. We went to a farm and picked apples. We had a great time. We had a great time. Now, my friends, it's time for practice. Write at least 3 sentences using the simple past tense. Write about this past weekend or last summer, whatever you want, but try to write at least 3 sentences about your experiences in the past. Here are some examples. I went, I relaxed, I cleaned, or I visited. Again, I went, I relaxed, I cleaned, or I visited. Remember, my friends, practice, 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 and never give up.